Well, thank you so much, Paul, for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of the C19 Experience and sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
So I would love to start at the beginning, or kind of like before the beginning. So life before COVID. And well, what do you do? How are you connected to Rodney?
Currently, I am a staff chaplain at IU North Hospital.
Okay.
And one of my units that I cover is the ICU and the emergency room.
Okay.
Especially, so.
Okay. So, as the chaplain at IU, what was life like sort of before COVID versus life after COVID? Or once COVID began?
Right. Prior to COVID, it was kind of business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
More happy-go-lucky around the hospital. Once COVID hit, there were a lot of changes. We had to change the way we interacted. We went to mask, and we had to change a lot of protocols and even the visitation policy. So it was a big change from COVID to pre-COVID.
Yeah. I imagine, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that you are the person that is there helping folks when, during, or even after the loss of a loved one.
Correct.
And having the restrictions of not being able to talk to them face to face, them not being able to be with their loved one as their loved one is passing, and just this sort of rapid succession of everything that happened when someone was infected with COVID, that probably changed a lot about how you did what you did.
It did, and we had to even put in different protocols. So if it was not end of life, then we were not allowed to have family in or friends.
Okay.
If it became a situation where it was probably going to end up with the patient passing, then we were allowed to have at least one of the loved ones or significant other come in and visit with the patient with the proper protocol and PPE equipment and stuff. So it was really different. I often tell the staff that I work with, when a patient does pass, that's kind of when my job gets a little more intense, because I'm dealing with the family and what happens after that. And then also part of my job is caring for the staff as well. So I minister to the team members as well, because they've gone through a lot and had experienced a lot of trauma.
Absolutely. So there was a lot of, to put it lightly, stress among the healthcare workers, and it was a lot. It was an onslaught, right? And things going quickly, and people not knowing what tomorrow or the next hour was going to bring. So what was that like, ministering to the staff at IU?
It was difficult at the beginning because where I'm at, I'm mostly there by myself until the afternoon. There's another staff chaplain that comes on board.
Okay.
They take care of the cancer center until after 5 p.m. Then they come over to the hospital side.
Okay.
So it's something that is difficult, but I really enjoy it because I learn to build relationships with the staff and get to know them and their family. So one of the things I do, I'm very observant when I come onto the floor. I want to check and see before I even encounter the team members, just how they're doing. I look at their body language. I try to see how they're interacting with the other team members. So we were able to forge a very good relationship, and they know me and they know that they can call on me and I'm there to assist them. I even help them in the end of life, preparing the patient to be seen by the family or whatever's needed. We all pitch in.
Yeah.
So I got to know them and what their needs are. So one of the things I possess is I have a very calming presence, and I use that to my advantage because it helps me bring calm to any situation that I encounter.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that was absolutely necessary and vital, especially at the peak.
Yeah.
Because we're not done. COVID is not gone.
It's not gone.
But especially at the peak when it was still very new and there was little information, I'm sure that was absolutely helpful. So that's wonderful to know that you're not only there to help the families, but also the staff. So the staff have a spiritual support there.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. Now, how did you sort of take care of yourself? You are the caretaker of all of the folks, of the caretaker. You're the caretaker of the caretaker.
Right.
So how did you take care of yourself during this time?
One thing I've learned a valuable lesson, and that's self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand when I reach my limits, then I was able to even engage my manager to help and come and assist, or even in times take over.
Yeah.
So recognizing when you are at a point where you will not be any good for anyone else is vital and key. And that's one thing I practice is balance. And that helps keep me going as well.
Yes.
So I can't be any good for anybody else if I'm not where I should be.
That is a jewel that has been dropped. Like, I hope everyone watching has been able to pick up that jewel, because when you are able to feel that your limit is being reached, that is the time to tap out.
Exactly.
Because once you've reached your limit or you're above it, you're not helping anyone. And so if that is your focus, if that is your job, if that is the thing that you want to do, then it's very important to be able to realize that your limit has been reached and call in for some reserves, some assistance. I think that's wonderful. Very good. So one day, Rodney Stepp comes into IU. Tell me about your experience with Rodney.
Oh, I come in on a Monday, and as I do every day, I have a huddle on the ICU, and I'm always there, and we meet with other team members there, and we meet with other people in the hospital that care for patients. So we have other staff members we encounter. So I'm looking down at my list of my patients, and he happened to be one of them. I said, I know that name. Why do I know that name? I go and call my wife, and then she reminds me. I said, oh, okay, I got it. So, of course, we have to keep everything the way it should be. So once I find that out, like I do, if I'm not able to visit a patient because they're not awake or they're vented or sedated, my practice is to still go by the room, and I'll sit and I'll pray with the patient, I'll pray for the patient, I'll pray over the patient, until such time as I can find out from them, how can I best serve you? How can I partner with you? How can I best come alongside you in this time of need? So with Rodney, it was special. There was just something special about him. It was different than all the other encounters I've had. And one of the things we did during COVID was, because family members were not able to come in, part of my job was to call the family members to check in on them, to see how they're doing. Now, I don't give updates because that's the nurse and doctor's job, but I can check in on that patient's loved ones. And that's what I did for Rodney. And it was just so amazing to hear the strength and determination of his wife, and how we come together and we even pray together over the phone. And that's, for me, I have a success when I'm able to connect with anyone that's either religious or spiritual, how I can partner with them. That really makes my job a lot easier.
I can imagine.
But that's how I came to know Rodney, and I just continue to pray for him and wait for him to do. One of my prayers is, God, you created this person. You know all about them. You know what they stand in need of. I'm here as your humble servant, just being a willing vessel to do what you would have me to do, or say what you would have me to say. So I just keep it simple, and then I just allow my faith to kick in for whatever situation or person.
So you were there praying with Sheena while Rodney was under sedation.
Correct. He was intubated.
Sedated. And so once Rodney woke up, were you able to talk to him?
Oh, yes.
And what was that like?
It was amazing. Of course, he was weak, but he had such a beautiful, calming, peaceful look in his eyes, and we connected immediately. Initially, I could see him through the glass, and I would just nod to him and let him know I was praying for him. And then when I was able to go in and speak a little bit, because I know he had a lot going on and a lot to recover from, and a couple times it was really touch and go. But my belief is this: with God and serving God and living for God, it's a win-win situation.
Right.
We can ask God to heal, but we can't tell him how to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, do your thing, Lord.
Yeah.
And working with Rodney, our spirits just connected.
Mm-hmm.
And little by little, we got a little more engaged, and I was just there really to support him in any way I could. We take care of the mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So I let the medical people handle the mind and body.
Yeah.
And when it's appropriate, I tap in with them and their spirit.
Which is an extremely vital part of the recovery process.
Yes.
And with all of the love and the prayer and the energy that was surrounding Rodney and the hospital at that time,
Right.
I know that all of that is key to the reason that he is up and walking around and still doing what he has done, but with a higher purpose at this point. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your service and what you do day to day. And as just a member of the human community, thank you so much for what you do, but also especially thank you for what you did for Rodney while he was at IU. I'm certain that we wouldn't be here without your help and the help of everyone else. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for being here and talking to me today.
My pleasure.
All
Appreciate
right.
the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.